Friday, September 22nd, 2017. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. Thank you for joining us today. We have a great show in store for you. We will start things off with Joyce Hasiotis. She is the Vice President of the Cold Noses Foundation. She fills us in on the Paws on the Beach event happening this weekend at Craigville Beach. We'll get an update on the new after-school program being offered to 6th and 7th graders with Program Coordinator George Noonan. And finally, we will talk with Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. He lets us know about the upcoming rabies baiting that starts next week. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. There will be a household hazardous waste collection this Saturday at the Barnstable Transfer Station from 9 a.m. to noon. You can drop off your paints, polishes, and stains, no latex please, yard chemicals, household cleaners, as well as auto fluids. You must have a Town of Barnstable recycle sticker to participate. Flu season is upon us, and the Town of Barnstable's Health Division will hold 2 flu clinics. The first will be held Wednesday, October 11th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and the second will be held November 8th from 3 to 5 p.m. Both will be held at the St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Centerville. These clinics are open to Town of Barnstable residents only, and the fee is $3. The Town of Barnstable's Department of Public Works invites interested individuals to attend a public hearing regarding planned improvements along portions of C Street and Ocean Avenue in Hyannis. The hearing will be held at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 26th in the Town Hall hearing room. This state-funded project is planned to extend from Main Street to the entrance of Keys Memorial Beach on Ocean Avenue. The hearing will include a presentation providing an overview of existing conditions and potential improvements along this corridor, with opportunities for questions and comments. The Barnstable pump-out boats are in service through Columbus Day weekend, and they will be running Thursday through Tuesday. The pump-out boats monitor VHF channels 16 and 09 during operating hours. Please schedule pump-outs using the email address pumpout@town.barnstable.ma.us or call the Harbor Master's office at 508-790-6273. It is helpful to schedule pump-outs in advance. The shoreside pump-out will be available in Hyannis Harbor as well as Barnstable Harbor through October during daylight hours. Up next, we will learn all about Paws on the Beach happening this weekend with Joyce Hasiotis, Vice President of the Cold Noses Foundation.
We're joined today by Joyce Hasiotis, the Vice President of the Cold Noses Foundation, and you have an event coming up pretty soon called Paws at the Beach, September 23rd. Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yes. Paws at the Beach is going to be a special event. It's where we're inviting all our dogs back on the beach, and it's a festive event, and it'll be fun. We have vendors coming. We have a 1-mile beach walk down beautiful Craigville Beach.
That's awesome.
And we have food, we have contests, prizes, and I think it'll be a fun day for the whole family.
And this event is going to support or donate some of the funds back into nonprofits and other things that help animals. For people that want to register to walk their dogs, what do they do, or if they want to just help out?
Well, if they want to sign up to volunteer, they can go right on our website, coldnosesfoundation.org/paws, and that'll take them right to the Paws at the Beach page. Mm-hmm. And if they would like to sign up for a walk, also the same thing. We encourage them to sign up for the walk. It's $10 to walk, donation, mm-hmm. and with that they get a wristband. And with the wristband, they'll be able to have this free microchipping.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's Cape Cod Animal Hospital will be doing that for us. Mm-hmm. We received a grant from the Cape Cod Foundation, local, for the microchipping, which is wonderful. And then there'll also be, the wristband will allow them to enter the different contests that we're having. Mm-hmm. And also the vendors are giving things out, you know, if you have a wristband, little freebies. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
So what are some of the competitions that are happening? I know you said you're excited for Cape Cod Broadcasting to be there.
Yes, Cape Cod Broadcasting will be there. They'll MC the day, and they're providing the music, and we'll be crowning the cutest dog.
That's going to be awesome.
It should be fun. And then we have other contests. We have look-alike, mm-hmm. people's look-alike with their dogs. Oh, we have the best trick, we have the best dressed, and it'll be fun. It's just always a fun day.
And what are some of the sponsors or other nonprofits that will be there? Because you also said that the MSPCA will be there.
The MSPCA will be receiving some of the profits from the walk. They have created a team, and there are several other nonprofits that will be there, and they have created teams as well. So if walkers go on the website and they want to join one of the nonprofits, they'll see it right there, and they can sign up and join a team to walk and raise funds. And part of the proceeds will go to them.
And in addition to the microchipping as one of the vendors, you said there might be some adoptable dogs or some other things that might be going on too?
Yes, we'll have a parade of adoptable dogs. We have some rescues that were nonprofit rescues that are coming, and they're bringing their dogs, and hopefully maybe one of them or two of them will get adopted out, and it's always a good thing.
That's awesome. And for people that may not have a dog, can they still participate in this walk?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have a dog, or if you don't want to walk with your dog and you still want to participate and donate to the cause, then they can certainly walk without a pet.
And leashes are definitely something that we should bring, right?
Yes, leashes are on your well-behaved pet.
And what time does this event start and end?
Starts at 10 a.m. and it ends at 3 p.m.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, Joyce. Once again, this was Joyce Hasiotis, the Vice President of the Closed Noses Foundation. For more information, you can go to the Closed Noses Foundation website. Wow.
Coming up, we will check in with Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis. But first, Program Coordinator George Noonan tells us all about the new after-school programming for 6th and 7th graders starting next week. Joining me now is George Noonan. George is a Program Coordinator with the Barnstable Recreation Division. Thank you so much for joining us today, George.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good. So we're going to talk about the new after-school program that's starting on Monday for the 6-7 school, so that's BIS. After-school program, they're going to be picked up at the BIS and taken to the HYCC. What can you tell me about this great program you guys are starting?
Well, the program is kind of modeled after existing programs, the Boys and Girls Club of America program that I had past experience with in a couple locations. It's basically our attempt at a structured after-school program based out of the Hyannis Youth and Community Center. So there will be a variety of activities that will take place through different kinds of types of learning. We'll do some social rec programming, we'll do some gym programming, some homework assistance, some life skills training, things along those lines.
So it won't just be we're taking the kids from the school, taking them to the HYCC and just setting them free. There'll be a structured schedule of what they'll be doing while they're there, and you'll have them for about, 2 hours?
We'll have them for about 3.5 hours.
Okay, great.
We project they'll leave BIS around 2:30, arrive at the HYCC about 2:45, 10 minutes to 3, get them all settled in. Probably right away we talked about starting off with homework assistance. We'll have our staff there first, and then hopefully at some point we'll be able to add on some volunteers from maybe National Honor Society, maybe Key Club, things along those lines. Then we'll transition into a couple of activities, have the game room open for the kids. The gym will be open as well. And later on in the afternoon, we'll do a snack as provided through Project Bread and in partnership with the YMCA. And then we'll do probably like a structured gym activity. It could be a game, could be a league, or things like that. And then after that, the activity ends, what we would do is we would bring them back into the game room, running a social rec tournament. That might be where we have the life skills portion of the program. We wouldn't do life skills like every day, but every once in a while we probably will try to get someone in there to talk about an issue or a topic that is relevant to that age group.
Yeah, it's important to reach this age group. I know that the Youth Commission does their youth summit for this age group, so it's a good age for learning life skills, learning homework skills and things like that. So this is a great program, and I know that you only have about 10 spots left right now. So if people are interested in signing up, what's the best way for people to sign up their 6th or 7th grader?
There's two ways. If you currently have a household with us through our through registering for previous programs, online is an easy way to do it. But in my opinion, the best way is to come into the HYCC and register there. our normal registration hours are 8:30 to about 4:30. If you contact someone, there's usually someone there who might be able to assist you if you can't get in there during those hours.
Great. And this, like I said, the program starts on Monday, and I think it's going to be a really great program that you guys are spearheading, and we'll see how the first session goes, and hopefully, if everything goes well, you'll be able to offer it again in the future. I know that is that the plan.
That is the plan. Our plan for this school calendar year is to offer it through 3 sessions. The first one starting Monday, ending early December, then the second one starting right from there, ending, I believe it's in middle of February, then start the 3rd session for the rest of the school year. So, the program runs on days where there is full days of school. If there's no school, there will be no program going on. So, it should be a great day. It should be a great program.
Great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, George, for joining us and letting us know all about the after-school program that's starting next week. We really appreciate it.
All right. My pleasure. Thank you, Sarah.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. My guest today was George Noonan. He's a program coordinator with the Barnstable Recreation Division. Joining me now is Animal Control Officer Charlie Lewis.
Good
Charlie,
morning.
thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
So we got a lot to talk about. Rabies baiting is starting up in a couple weeks.
Correct.
So let's talk all about that. I know there's baiting
All right.
stations and hand baits and all sorts of different things.
Yep. We started the program back in the 90s, and the program moved progressively towards Provincetown as rabies went down the Cape, but the bait zones have been moved back, and Barnstable is still, fortunately, part of the bait program. So we will be putting bait in stations beginning next week. They spend 2 weeks there, and they'll observe and make sure that the baits are being taken, and then they'll be emptied out. And on October 2nd, we will actually do the hand baiting part of the program, which covers north of 6A. So we'll go from the Yarmouth line to the town of Sandwich. And as we go down 6A, when we get to 132, we go up towards Route 6, and that becomes the perimeter. So we'll cover that whole area.
Wow. It's a big area to cover.
Yeah, there's quite a few baits that are placed, and what we hope for is that everyone keeps their dogs and cats and what have you at bay, so that if a bait is placed close to a road, which we hope it's not, we hope it's back from the road, but if an animal can get to it, wildlife can get to it, it's one more that we can get that animal protected.
And I know that was going to be my next question. What should people do if their dog comes running up with the bait in their mouth, or they find it? There's nothing to worry about, right?
Correct. There's no fear, but there is a telephone number on the bait itself, the packet, and we request that you call just to say that has occurred. And people should wash their hands. There's no harm to the dog. The most that'll happen is that they may get an upset stomach and regurgitate.
Okay. Not so bad. And it's very important to protect against rabies on the Cape. We have a lot of wildlife here, so the rabies baiting program, I think, is a really great program to help with that.
Yes, we haven't had a positive case in our town now for going on 3 years.
Wow.
So in everyone's opinion, of course, this bait actually program works, and the animals do get immunized. We are seeing similar signs of rabies that is distemper in some of the raccoons and in the number of skunks. It's very hard. You can't visually tell the difference. They both have outward symptom signs are the same, so they have to be tested, and they rule out the rabies through the surveillance program that we have. So USDA, they have freezes throughout the Cape, and they take any type of roadkill or, certain, if the animal's valid to be tested, they'll even go on private property and collect them. They put them in a freezer, and then they come down and they do group testing. And the results of that is, if there's anything positive, they send it right to CDC right away to be confirmed. And if it's not, they do send tissue samples as a group down at a later date, and they confirm that the test has worked.
Wow.
Because they use a different test than what we do for human exposures. And any human exposures at all, of course, we should be notified so that we can prep that animal, send it to Boston to be tested.
Yeah.
and the sooner that we do that, the better.
Yeah.
Which leads me to bats a little bit. We're still getting bats out of houses. If anyone should wake up to a bat in the house, we obviously want to capture that bat and have it tested. If anyone has had dinner at night, you know, you're watching a baseball game, you fall asleep, you wake up and there's the bat, we want to test that bat.
Yeah, because you don't know that you've been bit by a bat.
Correct.
You could wake up
Yeah.
and it could have bit you and you have no idea.
Correct. So just a little side thing about
Oh, yeah.
testing.
Rabies, it's
It's-
very important to know
yeah.
all about that.
Certainly is.
Yes. So the other thing we want to talk about is starting September 15th, so about a week ago, dogs are allowed back on the beach on leash. Very important.
Please.
On leash, and you have to pick up after them while you're out there.
Yes,
Yes.
it's very important. We keep our beaches pristine in the summertime. We send crews out there and they rake the beaches and everything, obviously for the people's benefits. Winter comes and the DPW guys aren't out there doing that. So we have to rely on the dog owners to pick up after them.
Yep.
It's very beneficial for our shellfish population. Also, just because it's fall or winter, we still get families that go down on the beach
Oh, yeah.
and the kids are playing. There's nothing worse than to have a youngster pick up some frozen dog droppings,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. So we do have that rule in place and we strictly enforce it. If we see an individual who fails to pick up, we will give them a bag and ask them to do it. If they don't want to do it, we will cite them for it.
Yeah. It's important. You know, the
yes.
beaches, we love to enjoy them year-round here on the Cape, so you got to keep it nice for everybody. So just make sure keeping your dog on the leash and picking up after. It's very important.
Yeah, and the leash, you know, a lot of people say, well, why do we have to leash them down there? You know, it's just one big happy family. All it takes is one dog to sniff the wrong way, and the next thing you know, there's a dog fight.
Yep.
And then we, defending our dogs, reach in, we get bitten, and everybody scurries off because they want to go get treated or they want to get their dog treated from a bite, and they don't get the information from the other party.
Yeah.
So now we don't know if that animal's been treated for rabies or not, or it's been vaccinated against it or anything. So it makes it a little more difficult, and the veterinarians want that information
Yeah.
so that they can prescribe the right treatment for that injured dog. And if it's a human, of course, we want to know so that
Yeah.
they don't have to go through the post-exposure shots.
It's not fun.
No,
Not fun.
and it's expensive.
Rabies in humans is very, very dangerous, so I know it's very important to...
People die,
Yep, it's not good.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there is the cure so long as you get the vaccinations ahead
Yep.
of time.
Yep,
So,
great. Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for joining us today. Let us know about the rabies baiting and dogs being allowed to be back on the beach. I really appreciate it.
Okay, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. My guest
Thank you.
today is Charlie Lewis. He's the Animal Control Officer. Now let's find out what's happening around town in today's community calendar. The New Classics Company, known for their plays and improv performances, will have free improv comedy shows every Friday night at 7:30 in the Geyer Barn. The improv troupe changes on a weekly basis, so come for a laugh and help support them with a donation. All are welcome. Also, if you are interested in being part of the group or would like more information about Friday Night Improv, please go to www.newclassicscompany.org. The Hyannis Youth and Community Center is hosting its 9th annual Fall Touch-a-Truck event this weekend. Come down to the HYCC on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and take part in this fun, free event. Love Local Fest is a fun, free family event on Sunday with live music all day, vendors, food trucks, and so much more. Come on down, find some treasure, and taste great local food and support your resident Cape Codders at Azleton Park from 11 a.m. to dusk. Now let's take a look at next week's Board, Committee, and Commission schedule. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back Monday with another great show for you. I hope you all have a great weekend. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.